Hello everybody, and welcome back to one of my building blogs. This is yet another start to a new build. It is one that will be somewhat out of my comfort zone. It's using a medium that I've never used before, Depron, and it's actually for an indoor scale model. Now last winter I was invited along to a few indoor flying sessions that run basically during the winter season, and I thought it would be very useful to get myself a kit to make a model so I could take it along and fly it at these sessions. And what this is, it's a model by Microaces. It's actually a Fokker D7. Now this isn't going to be a building blog in the sense of this is how to do it, because the chap that runs Microaces does some superb, very detailed step-by-step videos on how to build them. But what it will be is an absolute beginner in this medium. I've never done it before. I'll give you my feelings on how it goes together rather than a blow-by-blow description, because as I say, the videos that go with it and the instructions are extremely extensive. I'm about to show you what you get with one of these kits. So this was a kit that I picked up at a swap meet. There have been multiple modifications, multiple variants, but this is essentially what you get in the kit. Very impressed I am too. So this little device, excuse the noise, somebody's getting a drive put in. This little device, if anybody has somebody that's into needlework in the household, it's basically a tool for threading a needle. And that becomes very useful when you come to do rigging. Although in the D7, you don't need to worry about that. The prototype didn't have any rigging, but it's a useful bit of kit to use on these models. It's always nicely packed. The new packaging includes some beautiful artwork on the outside cover that I'm sure if you get one of these models, you'd be tempted to frame and put on the wall in the workshop perhaps. This is a booklet from the online instructions that's been printed off from the previous owner. Although they bought the kit, they never built it. Unfortunately, they passed away before they got the opportunity. But you can see how extensive it is, along with a video blog on how to do it. You can't really, I hope, go wrong. And that's the particular model that I'm going to make. Very fetching, as you'll see in a moment. This is the bag of bits, electronic bits. It's an all-in-one block. I'll take it out so you can see it. An all-in-one block and a second micro servo for operating the ailerons, because this model, believe it or not, even at this tiny scale, will be full house. There's the prop. Here's the motor. After I've just started up a petrol engine of 38cc, this looks crazy, doesn't it? This is one of the servos. It's a linear servo. That's the one for operating the ailerons through quite a very clever bell crank arrangement, which we'll see when I make it. And this is the all-in-one block. There's the receiver, the ESC, and two servos all included in that block there. So that's the electronics that will make this a working model. Here's a bag of goodies. I'm not going to get them out because I'm terrified of losing parts. Here's the belt crank arrangement. It's all been laser cut out of very thin ply. I believe that's the mount for the engine and for the receiver. And there's some other bits and pieces there. I'm not quite sure what they're for. I think they're spacers for the belt crank. There are some push rods that are pre-bent to length. You can see that they have a loop in them there to allow some fine adjustment. and that looks like it's a fiberglass rod, not a fiberglass, a carbon fiber rod. Background, introduction, tell you where to find information to look at that, what's on that booklet that I've just shown you. That's the invoice that came with it. Set of instructions on binding and setting up the receiver, although I think this is a slightly different one to the one that I have. Piece of plywood, I'm sure it's got a use. This is a protective, really heavyweight, board that's in the pack, and you can see that it's got a schematic of the Fokker D7 on here, rather nice, heavy board. And then these are the bits that you get. It's in Depron, believe it or not, that's the whole model. So let's have a look. If I take some of the parts out, it's very thin Depron, all the parts are, it's upside down, all the parts are carefully marked out and printed. I know that this is a strengthening part that goes inside the engine bay, for example. As well as there's a gun that folds up. I know that Microaces also produce some 3D printed parts that you can get to up the scale quality for the guns and for the pilot, for example. This is some slightly heavier Depron. Heavier, it's not the right word to use, is it? That makes up the structural crutch of the model, and then these are the formers, and then here's the model itself, and the colour, the print work on it is superb. As you can see, there's an elaborate scheme, and it's weathered, the printing is weathered to give it a real 3D look. I've seen some of these models before and I'm very, very impressed with them. Here are the wings, upper wings and lower wings, and the tail surface and rudder. Very impressive. Printed both sides. And the final part, it's in here. These are some stick-on sheets to add to the realism of the model. They've got on the propeller blades, for example, with some spares. Very impressed with what I see. I'm sure, and I hope I will be, after I've completed the build. So I'll take you on the journey. As I say, it won't be a blow-by-blow account, because that's done far better by Microaces themselves, but I will sort of give you my feedback on how it's going and how I'm enjoying doing it, or otherwise, if that's the case, I'll tell you warts and all. But I'm very impressed with what I see, and I have seen these models fly and they're very, very impressive. Although I'm building it for indoors, you know, if you get one of those perfect summer evenings, or even crisp, cold winter days, when it's very still, there's nothing to stop you flying these outdoors. If you look at some of the promotion videos, you can see them flying in a cricket, on a cricket pitch, an area that's surrounded by trees, so it's obviously quite sheltered. But I'm really looking forward to making this. Just another one of the builds that'll be ongoing. But I've missed I'll have missed a couple of sessions, flying sessions indoors. I don't know how long it'll take me to make it. I'm not going to rush it, because although I'm quite an experienced modeller, this is something that I've never ever done before. So I'll take it slowly, and I'm not going to be frightened to ask for help if it's needed. I'm sure it will be, because there are a couple of lads in the club who've built these and flown these. So if you want to see yet another build, this one might be for you. I hope it is. I'm not so obsessed with building with balsa and nitro engines and diesel engines that I can't enjoy other aspects of the hobby, and this is one of them. Thanks for looking in. Stay tuned. Speak to you soon.